Today's video, I will be reviewing a bunch of bat suits. 80 years worth of them, starting all the way back in 1939.
Almost as old as I am!
Around 45 designs will be judged today, from some of the coolest designs to suits that make you wonder if Bruce is actually insane. The main stipulation: they have to be visually unique, and not just something like scuba equipment over the regular bat suit, or a jacket. They need to actually be distinct suits that either are purpose-built for a specific situation or are an overhaul on the base design. They will be judged in 3 categories: utility, design, and whether or not I'd be caught dead in them. Each category will be on a 1 to 5 basis. 1 is the worst, 5 is the best of the best. And to make things more fun, I will be judging the suits based on what they do in their respective media. For instance, the Arkham suit's utility score would be a 5 out of 5, because look how much stuff Bruce fits in that utility belt. Batman might as well be carrying a U-Haul with him. We'll be throwing the suits into one of 6 rankings. S rank, suits that make you feel like a force of nature, a symbol brought to life. A tier, iconic suits, effective, and unmistakably Batman. They just don't quite have that larger-than-life presence. B grade, great designs with a noticeable flaw. Maybe they're bulky, restrictive, or missing that last bit of perfection. C tier, these are suits that are a product of their time, and hindsight has not been kind. D tier, technically a batsuit. Technically. F grade. Where was Alfred, and why did he let this happen? 1939. This is the suit that started it all. Sorta. Detective Comics number 27, which was put on shelves on March 30th, 1939. The case of the Chemical Syndicate. Batman would be introduced to the world by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. The suit was designed around the name itself, Batman. You'd think their first route would have been more bat-like, but no, apparently Bill Finger had to step in and offer some sense to these people. Utility-wise, it was lacking. I mean, it was the 1930s. No armor to speak of, a few smoke pellets at best, a batarang or 2, and a bat gyro. I guess he might get hungry while crime fighting? 2 out of 5. You're better off with the Shadow's 45 pistols. Design. It gets the point across that this person is trying to look like a bat, and maybe for its time frame this would have been scary. So I'll give it another 2 out of 5. Yeah, the idea is there, but so many better things are to come, even just a year or 2 later. Would I personally want to wear it? No. 1 out of 5. That balances it out to a 2 out of 5, throwing it down into D tier. 1940. Now we're getting close to what Batman is known for. The 1940s is what can be considered the start of the golden age of comics, and Batman benefited greatly from it. Though much of the influence of the change was no doubtably coming from the fact that comic books were now being geared for kids, given that this is when Robin would enter the scene. Utility. Once again, not sporting much in the way of armor, and the utility stayed mostly the same. You still don't even get the grapnel gun. 2 out of 5. Seriously, go ask the Shadow for his guns. Design. The costume has become more thought out than previously. We're now following a more distinct color code. And while the suit still is lacking in the fear department, it is more classic looking than the original. 3 out of 5. Looks a lot less goofy for its time frame. Would I want to wear it? Maybe for a parody. 2 out of 5. We'll go with B tier. Live action, 1943 and 1949. This is legally considered Batman. Lewis Wilson debuting Batman's first live-action appearance in 1943, and later replaced by Robert Lowry, I think that's how you pronounce it, in 1949, in serialized films. And by films, I mean like 15-minute movies that you went to see at a theater each week. Utility. Almost no change from the first suit, and because of that, it doesn't help me get over the look. 2 out of 5. Design. I know I have to judge it based on what it would be considered in-universe, but I'm making an exception for this one. I can't get over how bad these look. They're homemade Halloween costumes designed by a blind person. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? I'm ashamed to exist on the same planet it did. 1 out of 5. F tier. Moving on. Jungle Batman, 1952. Even before the comic book code of 1954 neutered comics, Batman was engaged in some strange behavior. After capturing the Sinister Eight and transporting them to an island, the ship they're aboard is hit with a torpedo, stranding everyone on another island. Batman is separated from his normal equipment, forcing himself and Robin to make jungle attire. Utility: none, other than keeping Bruce Wayne from being naked. It provides 0 utility. 1 out of 5. Design: this is far from fear given form. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? Only if it was the last piece of clothing on Earth. 1 out of 5. F tier beyond all measures. Rainbow Batman, 1957. Rainbow Batman and many of the 50s and 60s oddities are a result of the Comic Book Code Authority of 1954, starting a long spree of sterilizing media, believing it to be causing delinquency in American youth. So why did Batman taste the rainbow in this issue? Well, you see, Dick Grayson had injured his arm while saving a woman during a robbery. Bruce Wayne, concerned about criminals connecting the dots of seeing Dick's arm injured, and Robin also having an injured arm, thought that the only way to keep them from noticing was becoming so distracting, that they wouldn't notice Robin's injury. The logic is there, you're just not smart enough to see it clearly. Utility: even though you get Batman's standard arsenal at this point, the bright and distracting colors make it impossible for you to engage in any amount of stealth. 1 out of 5. Design: it's just his suit from the 40s, with what amounts to a 90s recolor for more toy sales. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? Not on your life. 1 out of 5. F tier. Knight in Shining Armor, 1957. In issue 111 of Batman, the caped Crusader and Boy Wonder don themselves in knight armor because a villain is coming after them, and so the only logical solution to protect themselves is to literally put on suits of medieval armor. The Silver Knight, I guess. Utility: we finally have an armored batsuit, but mobility is lacking. It'll protect you against everything but gunfire, or someone with a sledgehammer. In fact, it might actually prohibit you from using the standard Batman gadgets of the time as well. You also have to use chains to swing around with it. At least that's what they had to do in the comics. 2 out of 5. Design: if you're into Renaissance fairs and you don't care about stealth, then this is the armor for you. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? Sure, if I'm jousting. 1 out of 5. F tier. Zur-En-Arrh, 1958. Introduced in Batman 113, February 1958. A scientist from Planet X, observing Batman, creates his own version of the suit. This suit was mostly designed to be visually distinct from the regular Batman suit, because it's alien, so therefore must be strange and weird. Utility: it has no major utility difference than Batman's normal suit, and unfortunately, you only get super strength if you travel to Planet X and breathe their atmosphere. 1 out of 5. Design: it's the 1950s suit, but a recolor. Maybe it works on the planet he's from, but you take that stuff to Gotham and you'll be right up there with the Clown. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? There's a reason this is going to be an F tier. Negative Batman, 1960. In issue 284 of Detective Comics, Batman's picture is taken with an atomic camera, and rather than receiving a cancer-inducing dose of radiation, Batman is instead turned black and white, and also causing sunlight to cause him intense pain. Ultimately, he thwarts the evildoer's plan by making a black and white robot version of himself and uses it as a decoy to get the villain to take another picture of Batman, reversing the effects. It's complicated. Utility. Given the fact that daylight causes Batman pain now, it's a negative effect with no upsides. 1 out of 5. Design. Once again, this is just the 40 suit, but now makes you a Reddit mod. You can't go into the sun. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? My life is already pain. Why would I want to do it in black and white? 1 out of 5. F tier. Zebra, 1960. The Zebra suit was unfortunately introduced in Detective Comics number 275 of January 1960. In actuality, it's a visual representation that Bruce Wayne was affected by a magnetic radiation experiment, causing his whole body to become magnetic. It was introduced to ask the important question of, what if Batman was magnetic? Utility. The standard Batman loadout, but now with magnetic repulsion and attraction that he presumably can't control. Hijinks ensues. 2 out of 5. Design. It's negative Batman, but in zebra print. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? No, but it would be really funny to explain it to people giving me weird looks at the costume party. 2 out of 5. F tier. Mummy Batman, 1963. Mummy Batman was introduced when Bruce Wayne, along with Dick Grayson, encountered an alien spacecraft, and a device within it turned their skin green. To avoid their secret identities being exposed, they decided that mummification was the route to go, instead of maybe makeup or wearing mouth covers. Granted, this doesn't work because Vicky Vale is able to deduce their real identities based off of the sudden wardrobe change Batman and Robin undergo. Nice work. Utility. You get pretty much the bog standard Batman arsenal up to this point, but with the disadvantage of looking like a complete idiot. 1 out of 5. Design. Not only are you not scary, but now you can't even hide that well. 1 out of 5. Would I wear this? Maybe if I was bleeding profusely. 1 out of 5. F tier. Batman, 1964. This year gave us what could possibly be considered one of, if not the most iconic suit within the Batman franchise. Iconic enough that it lasted nearly 20 years with very little changes. Debuting in Detective Comics issue 327, May of 1964. This suit acted as a sort of revitalization to Batman after decreasing sales numbers. No doubt from how convoluted the series had become from all the bizarre and strange adventures Batman embarked on. Utility. Like the previous two, you still don't get body armor, but you do get the classics. Smoke bombs, batarangs, climbing rope, tracking devices, chemical capsules, a radio, matches, and a remote for the Batmobile and Batplane. 3 out of 5. I still have to have upper body strength to use the rope. Design. This is a suit that may not necessarily scare anyone, but I'll be damned if it isn't a brand icon, even in the world of Gotham. The yellow highlights in the symbol and the belt draw your attention, then the rest of the suit fills in the design. 3 out of 5. Iconic, even if it's not fear incarnate. Would I wear it though? Sorta. I wouldn't take myself seriously in it, but I'd have some fun on Halloween. 3 out of 5. We'll give this suit the generous position of C tier. Adam West, 1966.
Batman! Batman! Why is he running, Dad?
Because we have to chase him.
Okay, we're going in. Go, go, move.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Because he's the hero Gotham deserves. But not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him. Because he can take it. Because he's not our hero. He's a silent guardian. A watchful protector. A Dark Knight.
Adam West's Batman from the 1966 series is G-rated. The suit took most of its design from the 1964 suit, though of course with the technology of the time and probably budget as well. The suit looks like what you might find in the Walmart Halloween section, if you're lucky. However, unlike some future live-action iterations, at least Batman could move properly. Utilities. This has it all. Batarangs, bat rope, bat cuffs, smoke bombs, gas bombs, bat bombs, blowtorch, antifreeze pills. No, not that kind of antifreeze. Anti-gas pills, various antidotes, shark repellent, communications equipment, medical supplies, chemical agents, flash bombs, flashlights, magnetic equipment. 4 out of 5. All it's missing is the grapnel gun. Design. I already explained in the description. It's Walmart Halloween tier. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? No. 1 out of 5. That rounds it out to a D tier. 1986. This year marks the first major departure from the classic Batman look since the 60s and maybe the 70s, with Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, published in 1986. We follow an aged Bruce Wayne, who, after coming out of retirement, dons a more simplistic and visually darker suit. The suit was introduced with the idea of more strategy in mind, rather than looking like a superhero from the 60s. Batman is now starting to look more imposing. Utility. Here's where we start actually getting some armor. Not over the entire suit, but the bat symbol at least is bullet resistant. We also finally get a semblance of a grapnel gun, but it's literally a gun. We still have batarangs and smoke pellets. This gets a 3 out of 5. Design. While overall far more imposing than all the previous suits, the bat symbol always felt a bit ridiculous in its size. Granted, it is for chest armor, so it does serve some purpose. The reduction in ear size is also a welcome change, which unfortunately goes away for a while. Overall, the suit is getting close to the darker and more tactical Batman look. 3 out of 5. Would I wear it? No. Other than the chest armor, it still looks like I'm wearing just a fabric suit. Because I am. 2 out of 5. I will, however, put this in B tier. Exoframe, 1986. Along with the major redesigns in Batman's suit in The Dark Knight Returns, we also get the Exoframe suit, essentially power armor built to take on Superman. In issue 4 of Dark Knight Returns, Superman, under the direction of the US government, is sent to neutralize Batman after his actions in Gotham begin to re-inspire more vigilantes across the city. This suit was introduced as a direct response to Bruce's age, taking on Superman, who, also having aged as well, still retained all of his power. Utility. Obviously fully armored, mechanical strength enhancements, enough to actually harm Superman, electrified gauntlets, sonic weapons, internal and external power supplies. This thing is a walking tank. 4 out of 5. Design. It is a bit bulbous in the chest area, but this thing is a tank through and through. You don't have stealth because you don't need it, and the fact that it can take a punch from Superman and dish it back out makes it cool. 3 out of 5. It is cool, but not as Batman as it could be. Would I wear it? Yeah, it's a tank that you wear. 4 out of 5. I'll put this in D tier. I like it. It's literally a tank, but I don't quite feel like Batman in it. Year 1 Batman, releasing 1 year after The Dark Knight Returns, sees Bruce Wayne donning a very simplistic batsuit. Given that this is Bruce Wayne designing the suit from literal scratch, it can be excused that it's lacking a lot of flair. But at least it's going for more stealth than many of its prior iterations. Utility. Once again, no armor. You get some batarangs, smoke pellets, a nice addition of lock-picking equipment, and some communications devices. 2 out of 5. Design. I can respect the fact that it's Bruce's first costume within this continuity, and it at least has a color design meant for stealth and infiltration. As such, we're getting closer to what makes Batman tick. 3 out of 5. Would I wear this? I wouldn't feel as embarrassed as I would in many of the other suits, but I certainly would want better. 2 out of 5. We're putting this in C tier. 1989. Batman 1989 introduces the first live-action Batsuit since the 40s. With better technology in the real world to make costumes, The Dark Knight greatly benefited from this. Given that this is a Tim Burton film, though, no surprise it's almost all black. Utility. This is where things get much better. Fully armored. We're talking blocking bullets at near point-blank ranges. The beginnings of a fully motorized grappling gun. Batarangs, smoke bombs, communications, tracking devices, and homing beacon for the Batmobile. 4 out of 5. Design. This is where some major problems come in. While yes, this looks far more imposing than many designs, there are a couple of huge problems. The ears are a bit long, and worst of all, it's made of material which severely limits mobility. 2 out of 5. Would I wear it? No, it looks like it's made of rubber. Because it is made of rubber, and you can't turn your head. 1 out of 5. C tier. Gotham by Gaslight, 1989. In the same year, a one-off comic was published, seeing Bruce Wayne in Victorian-era Gotham, where he is investigating the Jack the Ripper murders. I'm a particular fan of this design because of how well it fits the look of Victorian-era clothing, and how it incorporates the Batman look as well, especially the jacket-cape combo. Utility. You don't get to glide in this thing, which is a shame, but that's to be expected. Ironically, you do get a grapnel gun, along with most of Batman's standard equipment. 2 out of 5. Design. While not the most Batman-looking suit, nor the most specialized suit for the job, it does have that classic Victorian look to it. And that coat adds some, as the kids would say, drip to it. 3 out of 5. Would I wear it? Honestly, no. I hate it less than most of the 1950 suits, but I wouldn't feel like Batman in it. 2 out of 5. C tier. 1992. Batman the Animated Series would deliver almost a gold standard for Batman attire. With the success of Batman Returns, the series only had to make sure the suit fit the tone, and Bruce Timm nailed it. Drawing from the 70s, but with more focus on the darker color schemes, it helped maintain an air of seriousness when the scene called for it. The suit was also designed to be easy to recognize. Utility. No body armor, but you do get a plethora of gadgets. Batarangs, grapnel guns, smoke pellets, flashlight, laser cutters, rebreathers, binoculars, fingerprint kit, flashbangs, antitoxins, chemical compounds, gauntlet computer, remote vehicle controls, and that's just what's at the waist and above. 4 out of 5. Design. Much more stealth-oriented, simplistic, maneuverable, but the lack of body armor is a drawback in terms of wearing it confidently. 3 out of 5. Would I wear it? For Halloween? Absolutely. 3 out of 5. We'll make this the first A-tier suit. I'm feeling generous with this one, despite the lack of armor. 1993. After Bruce Wayne gets his back broken, he gives the mantle of Batman to a man named Jean-Paul Valley. Introduced in issue 500 of Batman, 1993, the Azrael armor, however, is more about being a weapon than a symbol. Utility. Armored from head to toe, bullet resistant, grenade resistant, heat resistant, armored and bladed wings, shuriken launcher, flamethrower, rebreather, retractable blades, concealed weapons. This thing has it all. But it is far less stealth-oriented than Batman's other suits. 4 out of 5. Design. It looks monstrous, but the problem is, it doesn't look like Batman. It looks like an edgy teenager's version of Batman, or a heavy metal covers version of Batman. So the same thing. It's menacing, but it isn't Batman. 2 out of 5. Would I wear it? No, I'd feel like an edgelord in it. 2 out of 5. C tier. 1995. Joel Schumacher's first Batman film would introduce us to a more outlandish costume than in the 1989 version. While taking some notes from its predecessor, the suit would be more stylized with an emphasis on a muscular look, as well as being far leaner in terms of material, allowing the actor to move around better. You know, save for the whole turning the head thing. Utility. Grapnel gun, batarangs, bat bolas. Bolas? Yeah, you get it. Acetylene torch, bat cuffs, goo gun. Fire-resistant cape coating. It's implied that there is armor to it, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. 3 out of 5. Design. While yes, it is technically stealth-oriented, this looks like a rubber BDSM suit. I'd be more afraid of Batman getting personal with me than beating me. And you also can't turn your head. 2 out of 5. Would I wear it? Good lord, no. 1 out of 5. C tier. 1997. Joel Schumacher graced us with one last live-action Batman movie before thankfully hanging up his cowl. The Batsuit presented in this movie is very similar to the 95 suit. Sculpted muscles, and of course, the most dangerous of all, bat nipples, which are a result of taking notes from Roman statues rather than any kind of sexual intentions. But still. Utility. This thing is ludicrous. Body armor, grapnel gun, all other standard Batman utilities, and built-in ice skating equipment. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10! Design. Once again, a thick rubber BDSM suit that you still can't turn your head in. 1 out of 5. Would I wear it? Maybe if she was into some really kinky things. 1 out of 5. F tier. 1999. Finally, something good again. 1999 introduces us to one of the best suits in the Batman franchise. The suit having been designed by Bruce Wayne to compensate for his aging body. Eventually, even that could not keep him in the fight. Terry McGinnis would steal the suit in an attempt to figure out who killed his father, but later becoming Bruce's successor. The suit was created for the series to answer the question of, how does Bruce Wayne adapt to the future? The answer is, he makes the suit the gadget itself. Utility. Stealth-oriented to the point of having literal invisibility, enhanced agility and strength, bullet, laser, fire, electrical, and blunt force resistant. Retractable cape, boot thrusters allowing for flight, night vision, thermal optics, directional microphones in the fingerprints, built-in comms, automatic rebreather, magnetic boots, electrified defenses, compact batarangs with programmable functions, suit diagnostics, and physical monitoring. 5 out of 5. Design. Hot damn, this thing is cool. I do wish the ears were a bit shorter, but it makes up for it in being the sleekest suit on this list right now. 5 out of 5. Would I wear it? I would actually crime fight in this thing, even if it was just a cosplay. 5 out of 5. S tier. Batman 2000. We finally are in this millennia, and with it we get, ironically, a return to form. Batman's newish suit, introduced in issue 575, features designs reminiscent of the 64 suit, while taking some inspiration from Returns, namely the lack of a giant yellow oval surrounding the bat symbol. This suit is the result of post-No Man's Land. After Gotham is cut off from the rest of the US by an earthquake, Bruce cannot rely on outside resources, or even Wayne Enterprises. Because of this, the suit features a larger utility belt. Utility. We get things like the grapnel gun and most of other Batman's standard equipment, but unfortunately, it is lacking armor. However, this can be explained by the fact that because Gotham is in a state of lawlessness, worse than usual, the suit experiences extended use, which armor would reasonably cause some issues with weight fatigue. 3 out of 5. Design. Once again borrowing from previous designs, but thankfully having more stealth capabilities than the 1964 version. This looks like Batman, but there are better suits in this era, and previously. 3 out of 5. Would I wear it? For a retro costume party, maybe, even though it's from the 2000s. Is 2000s considered retro now? 2 out of 5. B grade. Batman Begins, 2005. Batman in 2005 received one of the largest changes to his wardrobe in this entire list. Not only did Christopher Nolan focus on the stealth aspect of Batman, but also turned it into a tactical suit rather than that of a superhero suit. Unlike in previous live-action iterations, this suit doesn't look like it was made for a swingers party. Within the Nolanverse, the suit is described as a Nomex survival suit, a military prototype developed by Wayne Enterprises. However, the cost of the suit turned the military away from putting it into mass production. Utility: ballistics armor, grapnel gun, gliding capabilities, batarangs, smoke pellets, armored cowl, encrypted communication devices, a cell phone, directional microphones in the ears, periscope, tumbler remote, bat attraction device. However, you can't turn your head. 4 out of 5. Design: this is Batman, but before it was refined. Stealth-oriented, menacing, but the gauntlets being essentially wearable accessories makes them feel like slapped-on additions rather than a part of the suit. The cowl being once again a giant rubber, and technically graphite, piece renders the wearer unable to turn their head. 4 out of 5. Would I wear this if the 2008 suit wasn't available? 3 out of 5. B tier. Batman, 2008. This is where we get into the good stuff. The Batsuit introduced in 2008 is iconic beyond iconic. After the issues presented with the first suit, Bruce Wayne requests a version of the Batsuit with dispersed plating, allowing for more agility and being able to turn one's own head. Utility: armored, though not as thoroughly, grapnel gun, gliding cape, batarangs, smoke bombs, gauntlets containing retractable and projectile blades, and sonar vision built into the cowl, more agility and being able to turn your head. 5 out of 5. Design: this is Batman at his best, in a realistic version. This combines military tactical design with the imposing look of Batman. Stealth is at the forefront, given how nearly the entire suit is black, and once again you can actually get to turn your head. 5 out of 5. Would I wear this? Let's put it this way. I would become the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. 5 out of 5. S tier, easily. Batman, 2009. The armor presented to us in Batman Arkham Asylum, released in 2009, is an interesting piece, borrowing a lot from more classic Batman designs, while also giving it some tactical edge. The Asylum suit shows off Batman's physique, helping him to look more imposing than many other suits. Utility: this thing is ridiculous. Grapnel gun, functional cape batarangs, remote-controlled batarangs, sonic batarangs, explosive gel, cryptographic sequencer, batclaw, line launcher, smoke pellets, detective mode, and gauntlet computer. All of this without presumably weighing 500 pounds, though it is lacking some armor to it. 5 out of 5. Batman looks more like a traditional superhero again than in the Nolan movie iterations. And given that the Arkham universe has a more eccentric comic book style to it, Batman's suit fits right in, but I've never been a fan of how long the ears are, or the mouth section of the cowl looking a little bit too enclosed for my tastes. 4 out of 5 though. Would I wear it? Yes, but I'd prefer the Arkham Knight suit. 3 out of 5. A tier. Armored Batsuit, 2009. Staying with Arkham Asylum for another second, the suit you can use in the challenge mode takes what the original suit did and improved upon it. Sporting all the same equipment as the normal Asylum suit, it however features far more armoring than its standard counterpart. Utility: it's got it all, and then some actual armor. 5 out of 5. Design: much more imposing than the first suit. It feels like a suit of armor rather than a costume. However, I still think the cowl is a bit odd-shaped, along with the ears being too long for my tastes, still. And the chin piece looks a tad out of place. 5 out of 5 though. Would I wear it? Yes, but again, the Arkham Knight suit takes the cake. 4 out of 5. A tier. Batman, 2011. Introduced in Arkham City, the suit we get is a visual upgrade from the 2009 variant. Not much has changed, but there are just enough differences to make it feel like a new suit. All the same equipment from Arkham Asylum, but now with some better armor, and the Batarang has better controls, along with freeze grenades. Oh, and there are Xbox 360 hard drives on the gauntlets now. 5 out of 5. Design. Definitely a visual upgrade from Asylum. Better armor, and I feel like I can take it more seriously than the Asylum suit. It feels like modern Batman. 5 out of 5. Would I wear it? Yes, but once again, I'd wait for Arkham Knight if I can. 4 out of 5. A tier. New 52, 2011. Beginning in 2011 with the launch of the new continuity for DC, the latest comic book iteration of Batman would come into play. The suit has some of the original comic book looks, but definitely focuses on the darker and more militarized look of the Nolan movies. Utility: armored with titanium-dipped tri-weave plating, grapnel gun, usable cape, retractable gauntlet blades, cowl-integrated systems such as audio enhancement as well as visual tools, and environmental safeguards. 5 out of 5. Design: looks like a suit of armor, and the ears are thankfully shorter than other iterations. However, it does feel like just a suit, honestly. 4 out of 5. Would I wear it? Yeah, sure, why not? 4 out of 5. A tier. Flashpoint, 2011. Introduced in the first issue of Flashpoint comic run. The Batman of this alternate timeline is actually Thomas Wayne. In this timeline, it was Bruce who was gunned down as a child, inspiring Thomas Wayne to become the Batman of the Flashpoint timeline. This Batman is far more brutal, without the moral code that Bruce abides by. Thomas Wayne uses guns. Enough said. Utility: grapnel gun, batarang, flashlight, medical tools, and best of all, firearms. Overall, it's Batman with guns. However, it's not as technically advanced as other suits of the time, so 4 out of 5. Design: Flashpoint Batman is designed around being more brutal rather than scary. However, it is very similar to other suits of the time. The spiky shoulders make it look more 80s than I think it should be, but the red accents and eyes it has do get some cool factor. 3 out of 5. It is a bat suit. Would I wear it? No, those shoulders kill the design for me. 2 out of 5. B tier, because it still has guns. And I don't need to be a ninja to use guns. Thrasher suit, 2012. The Thrasher suit used in the Night of the Owl storyline is employed when the Court of Owls infiltrate Wayne Manor. It's essentially power armor. Utility: it makes you a walking tank and is essentially an environment suit, meaning you could survive in space in this thing if needed. You also get cryo batarangs and an EMP. 5 out of 5. Design: much better than the exoframe in The Dark Knight Returns. This isn't just a layer of armor on top of the existing batsuit. This thing is a tank, and it looks damn good doing it too. 5 out of 5. Would I wear this? I'm pretty sure I could live in it. 5 out of 5. S tier. Batman, 2013. While technically taking place before Arkham Asylum, 10 years before it, the Arkham Origins suit actually feels far more menacing and Batman-like, at least in terms of modern designs, obviously taking more design off of The Dark Knight Rises, having come out a year prior. Utility: heavily armored, and with pretty much the entire loadout you'd expect from the Asylum-verse, though with glue grenades serving as the ice grenades Batman would get 10 years later. 5 out of 5. Design: physically imposing, but balancing out stealth with bulky brawling. The ears are noticeably shorter, owing to their Dark Knight influence. However, the shoulder and neck piece does add some stiff-looking design flaws, even though that's not an issue in the game. I've always looked at it as a bit weird. 4 out of 5 though. Would I wear it? Absolutely. 5 out of 5. A tier. XE suit, 2013. The Extreme Environment suit, introduced in Batman Arkham Origins DLC, takes a lot of inspiration from both the Exoframe and the Thrasher suit. Built to be thermally insulated and massive heat output, the suit becomes useful against Mr. Freeze, and you can still glide in it. Utility: all of Arkham Origins equipment, plus thermal batarangs, and the ability to still glide in it, fully armored as well. 5 out of 5. Design: while yes, it is bulky, it still looks damn cool, though it doesn't feel as Batman as the Thrasher suit does. On top of that, stealth might as well be gone, given that you have glowing thermal elements in it. 4 out of 5. Would I wear it? Easily. 5 out of 5. However, it goes into A tier. You gotta remember, S rank is for the tip top of Batman suits. Fenrir, 2014. The Fenrir mech is Batman's all-in-one solution to the contingency plans created to counter the Justice League in case any of its members were to go rogue. Introduced in issue 35 of the Endgame storyline. Wonder where Marvel got their name from. This suit answers the question of, what if the entire Justice League turned on Batman at once? Which becomes the scenario faced in the comic, when Joker infects the League with a virus, causing them to attack Batman. Utility: this thing is a powerhouse. Enhanced armor capable of withstanding superhuman strength, enhanced strength itself, plasma shielding, thrusters, and thermal protection. The Bind of Veils used to put an illusion over Wonder Woman, making her think that she's won against Batman. Data processing faster than Flash, in conjunction with frictionless fluid coating to eliminate Flash's ability to run. Powdered magnesium carbonate, used to absorb the liquid from Aquaman's body. Electromagnetic weapons, designed to attack Cyborg's nervous system. Citrine, neuralizer, presumably imprinting yellow light into Green Lantern's brain, rendering him unable to use his ring. Designed to sap Superman's powers, though ultimately it is the kryptonite chewing gum that incapacitates him. Overall, 5 out of 5. It's a tank. Design: it's a mech suit, which is cool, but it's not Batman. It looks like a generic robot suit. Make no mistake, mech suits are cool, but in a Batman list, it's hurt by the fact that it looks nothing like Batman. I would assume this was a different character if I wasn't making this list myself. 3 out of 5. Would I wear it? Of course, it's a mech. 4 out of 5. B tier. Hellbat, 2015. The Hellbat armor, debuting in issue 33 of the Robin Rising storyline, published in 2015. The Hellbat armor is designed for Batman to be able to take on alien threats such as Apocalypse and Darkseid, and their forces. Utility: flight, superhuman strength, enhanced durability, energy weapons, environmental protection, and borrowing technologies from each member of the Justice League. 5 out of 5. Design: this thing looks mean. It looks demonic, and it would make a grown man cower under the blankets. However, if it wasn't for the bat symbol, I wouldn't know this is Batman. And one massive drawback though, the suit itself feeds off the user's metabolism. You wear this thing long enough and it will kill you. But you do get to punch gods with it. 4 out of 5. Would I wear it? Yeah. Would I wear it for long? No. 4 out of 5. High A tier. Arkham Knight, 2015. The Arkham Knight suit is armor meant for war. After a portion of Gotham becomes occupied by a private military, Batman employs the version 8.3 to deal with the situation. And boy, does it accomplish its mission. The suit is almost a mech suit, having a focus on overlapping armor plates, allowing Batman to have his usual mobility while also still being adequately protected. Utility: this is the ultimate Batsuit in the Arkhamverse. A grapnel gun now capable of extreme speeds, allowing Batman to traverse faster than ever. Armor from head to toe. It doesn't even slow you down. Holographic displays. Batmobile remote control. And Batmobile launching capabilities. You also get all of the usual Arkham gadgets. 5 out of 5. Design. This thing makes you look like a beast shaped like a bat. When Bruce dons this suit in Arkham Knight, you feel like you can take on not just the Arkham Knight's militia, but the rest of the world if needed. Hell, I don't even mind the elongated ears, traditional of the Arkham suits. These might as well be spears now. 5 out of 5. Would I wear it? I would go to war in this thing. 5 out of 5. S rank. Samurai Batman. A modern oddity in the Batman lineup. Samurai Batman from the movie Batman Ninja is essentially a what if Batman found himself in feudal Japan. And while yes, the movie is called Batman Ninja, he's wearing what is more commonly associated with samurai attire. After Gorilla Grodd accidentally sends himself, Batman, and the Bat family and many of Batman's other enemies back into feudal Japan using a machine called the Quake Engine. No, not that Quake Engine. Batman's armor and equipment are quickly used and made obsolete since he's cut off from his resources by several hundred years. Utility. Decently armored for the threats of that age. The only projectiles you have to consistently worry about are arrows. There are some firearms, but they're limited. A katana, throwing blades, and that's really about it. 2 out of 5. Design. It's Batman if he was a samurai. Kinda cool, but it is just Batman in samurai armor. Weebs will get a kick out of it. 3 out of 5. Would I wear it? Maybe during my teenage anime phase. 3 out of 5. B tier. Final Batsuit. The final Batsuit is not the final Batsuit, but for naming purposes we'll run with it. Introduced in Justice League issue 24 of January 2019. Created using Element X, which I assume is an offshoot of Chemical X, the final suit is essentially a wearable god suit. Utility. Able to perceive true intentions of other beings, mental alteration, reality-altering capabilities, godlike strength, energy weapons, flying. You literally wear a suit of armor that makes you essentially God. 5 out of 5. Design. This thing is what Batman would look like if he operated during the day. White and gold. This is a mech you wear when you don't care about stealth, fear, or image. Because you don't need them. You just alter reality. 5 out of 5. Would I wear it? Yeah, it might not be the most Batman-looking suit in the universe, but it can literally just alter your mind to make you think it looks like Batman. 5 out of 5. S tier. Because it altered reality to make itself S tier. Future State, Bruce Wayne, 2021. In the Future State comic run, January 12th, 2021, Bruce Wayne returns to action as a more stripped-down urban-level Batman after being declared dead by the magistrate. Don't ask me what that is, I don't read comics. Given that Bruce Wayne is cut off from his usual resources, his suit in this comic run is far more rudimentary street brawler, rather than high-tech crime fighter. Utility. Not a lot. We're going back to basics with this. Practically no armor, literally exposed area of skin. Gadgets are what you can buy at a hardware store, so I hope your upper body strength can handle a rope climb. 1 out of 5. Design. I do like the rugged look of it. Feels like someone could make this in their garage, because that's pretty much what it is. Of course, it's far from Batman. 2 out of 5. Would I wear it? Yeah, I probably have the junk lying around to make it. 4 out of 5. D tier. Future State, Jace Fox, 2021. Debuting in issue 1 of Future State, the next Batman, January of 2021, Jace Fox, son of Lucius Fox, takes up the mantle of Batman during the period of time when the world thinks that Bruce Wayne is dead, and the Magistrate has taken control of Gotham. Utility. The usual Batman loadout of their era. Better armor, integrated grapnel systems, and for once, a full face mask. 5 out of 5. Design. Leaner than some of the other entries, it's clear that this suit is supposed to be more tactical interpretation of the classic gray and black suit. I'd prefer a less bulky bat symbol, but overall this looks like Batman. But it looks like you were given an assignment to make Batman, and you didn't add any extra personal flair. 4 out of 5. Would I wear it? Yeah, would make a great Comic-Con outfit. 4 out of 5. A tier. Batman 2022. The Batman, released March 4th, 2022, gives us a unique take on the Batman suit, somewhere between the tactical realism of The Dark Knight and purpose-built design choices. Like this suit was made by Bruce Wayne himself. A bit lower tech when compared to some of the other realistic suits on this list, and certainly not one of my favorites either. Utility. Bulletproof. Literally point-blank rifle rounds to the chest, without much issue. And what appears to be adrenaline injections. It's got most of what Batman usually needs. 4 out of 5. Design. This is where it gets rough. Literally. That's what the suit is designed to look like. A rough slap together of pieces. I hate to say it, but it's not that menacing. 3 out of 5. Would I wear it? No, probably not. 2 out of 5. B tier. And for the bonus, the unpublished Batsuit. Before Batman was truly Batman, Bob Kane designed a character that had a cape that sorta looked like a bat, and that was it. Thankfully, Bill Finger came in and knocked some sense into the artwork and character. Utility. Maybe a rope and a cape, and that's it from what we can tell in this picture. 1 out of 5. Design. You can throw tactical out the window because you are literally a bright red target, and the only thing concealing your identity is a thin eye mask. In fact. Hey, that's Bruce Wayne. And he dyed his hair. 1 out of 5. Would I wear this? Sure, if it was the 1930s before anyone had cameras to publicize how stupid I would look. 1 out of 5. F tier of the lowest order. That has been my ranking for the Batman suits over the course of 80 years. I'm sure you have some disagreements with this list, and feel free to yell at us in the comments about it. Boosts engagement. If you did enjoy this, leave a like, consider subscribing, and maybe share it out with some other Batman fans. I'm sure they'll have opinions. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.